birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to the Cruising Classics Next Gen Series, sanctioned by the Goat Locker Racing League. And tonight on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network, we're going short track racing from the last great Coliseum at Bristol Motor Speedway. Good evening. I'm making my debut with Goat Locker Racing and the Nazareth 360 Racing Network on this Wednesday night. I'm Wesley Outland. Dean Biggles hopped in is alongside, and I got three words, Biggles. It's Bristol, baby. It's short track racing. I think we're going to have a fun time tonight, man. Welcome aboard.
Yes, it is, and been here actually a couple of times in the recent past, so we're going to be looking forward to more of the Food City here, of course, in this lovely short track racing. We'll see how it's going to go for cautions and everything like that. And just to let everybody know, due to technical difficulties, we do apologize. I had a lot of drama with iRacing and so forth. So the race has actually been done and dusted earlier. However, we are fantastically using one of those replay files there from Jake. And yes, what we don't know, yourself and I, and as hopefully anybody else tuning in at the moment, do not know the results. We do not know who's qualified. We do in the positions. We don't know anything. So we are literally, you and I are portraying this like it is live. Like,
yes,
to us, it is.
We are literally doing like I do for like a MAV TV or a Race in America voiceover. That was something that was recorded. and then putting it up to call for television network. That's how they do it. They go in, they do sound check. We're doing the exact same thing. Let's take a look at the season 5 standings up to the first 10 races of the regular season for the Crusin Classics Next Gen Cup Series for the Goat Locker Racing League. And there it is, Brandon Evans, 3 wins on the year. Tucker with a win, Drabick with the win, and Barkus with a win. And obviously, on the producer side of things, Dean, you win, you go to the playoffs. And there's the cutoff line of the 12 drivers with 4 races remain. This is round 7 tonight, by the way, to try to make it into the playoffs that starts here very soon.
It will. And what's going to happen as you progress your further way down through those tracks, my friend? The calendar.
Take a look at the schedule. Obviously, as we just forementioned, obviously round 7 here tonight at the last great Coliseum at Bristol. Michigan International Raceway on deck next week. Then it's going to be Pocono Raceway, Kansas Speedway, the final 4 races, counting tonight's race for the, of course, racing remaining until the playoffs, Indianapolis and Iowa in the round of 12. And obviously that all culminates to Homestead Richmond for round of 8, and the championship 4 will battle for May 8th. Still a long way away, less than 2 months from now, Phoenix International Raceway, and obviously we will have it all on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. There you go. By the way, big thanks to Veterans for Life Foundation and Goat Locker Racing Incorporated is a 501c non-profit organization. Just want to throw that out there as well. The field is getting ready to grid, and we are about ready to introduce the starting lineup to go here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. You see a lot of the partners that are on the upper right of the monitor, and let's get this thing started here tonight for the Crusin Classics Next Gen Cup Series, round 7 tonight at Bristol. Jeremy Garden will be the man on the pole to the outside. Mark McCrary in the 83. Eddie Smith for Wedline Racing, and of course, Ryan Pimbleton, row number 2. Jake Ellingson will find Jason Taylor, row number 3. Trevor McManus for Indy Autosport, and Bobby Germain will make up row 4. Patrick Drabick, who's already got a win this year to lock himself into the playoffs. It's just more manufactured wins, if you will, for the run of the regular season. He'll start 9th. Lucas Lyons will be 10th. Daniel Cunningham, Dean, and Robert Barber make up the first 6 rows.
Then you're going to Mr. Brandon D. Evans, of course, there. And Brandon, so you got the Brandons running up 13th and 14th. You've got George Jewell, that's Steve Tucker. Joe Hobbs, 17th. Alan Marshall in 18th. Carl Westby and Dougie Ellickson and Jamie Barkus, Chris Sawyer, Tyler Justice, and John Anthony will round out your 24th, and a few other drivers there for you, sir.
There you go. And I believe Cameron Mason and Scott Formosa will make up the rest of the lineup. 26 drivers, 13 rows, round 7 coming up here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. It should be a good one. Let's step away and take a break. When we come back, we're dropping the green flag. The NASRA 360 Racing Network and the Crusin Classics Next Gen Cup Series from Bristol. The green flag, as I aforementioned, next here, coming up.
For Murph's Magical Creations, home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Welcome back to coverage from Bristol Motor Speedway. Lights are off on the pace car. Dean Hopton Biggles is in the broadcast booth. I'm Wesley Outland, making my debut here tonight on the NASRA 360 Racing Network for the Goat Locker Racing League Next Gen Cup Series. By the way, I want to say big thanks to Tyler Dittmer, longtime friend and colleague for the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. He's got a new job, new endeavors, and because of that, he can't commit to Wednesday. We will go bi-weekly. Myself and, of course, Mr. Jacob Reeves, the Redneck announcer, will be calling races back and forth. I think the championship race, we're going to be working together. We're ready to go. It's Bristol, baby! 134 laps around Bristol. This is like a short track Saturday night sprint, if you will, for a late model feature, Dean.
Yeah,
They work the backstretch.
if you wanted to get the caution 69 machine at the front, that Jeremy sprinted away at the moment, but you could see Mark and Eddie on the inside and the outside, P3 and P4. Look at that, Ryan is lurking in the background. Putty's setting it 3 early, my friends. I wouldn't suggest that up in the high fence, the 23.
Normally 250, 300 laps is the distance for the Xfinity Series at Bristol. 200 laps tops for the trucks here at Bristol. These drivers going 134 laps of racing right now. That's the equivalent of almost 70 miles around this racetrack. It is going to be a fun time and a sprint as we're getting started in the opening laps of the early going. Put down lap 2 on the board. Up in front is Jeremy Gardner, Mark McCrary, Ryan Pendleton, Smith, and Dre Bick. Look at this battle going on as you're riding on board now with Pendleton for third, looking on to the bottom.
Yeah, I believe there was a car that made a spot in the background. We won't be able to unfortunately show some of those replays, but so far at the moment there, look at this challenge for the lead there. Mark setting up on the high fence. That's the 83 machine on the 69. Of course, Jeremy was your pole sitter. And just lurking in the background is Ryan. Fastest man in that last lap was Patrick, but he's falling back just a little ton and change. But this is exciting already. 6.
Man, I love the caution car for the driver, Jeremy Gardner. Doesn't that look sharp right there? Is that a crash dummy on the hood?
Hopefully he's not going to get in caution anytime soon, is he?
And right now, Mark McCrary is the man that got around, obviously, the Gardner
Jake's got
caution
into pit road
machine.
early, so I guess that may have been an involvement there. So once again, we won't be able to show live replays everybody, so I'm going to have to try to catch that and switch cameras over when I can. Apologies about that one.
Want to let our audience know if you want to like and share and obviously put out the broadcast. This is what they just got done running about an hour ago live on the track here at Bristol. This is the voiceover of the race. Obviously, Jake Ellingson with problems, the 27 on pit road. Jamie Barkis with a problem as well, and Tyler Justice unable to start the race, but nonetheless, we're closing in on 10 laps here at Bristol, and right now, what a big lead. It is currently Daniel Cunningham, and just like I said that, we've got a caution on the racetrack here for the first time now, Dean.
Yeah, quite strange, actually, why the ticker at the top there hasn't updated with that one, because I was wondering why the cars are going quite slow at the moment. They were basically going what I would be driving at around this track, but there it has it, so that might have been caution on the Speedway. I've never worked off a replay before doing NASCAR,
I don't think it updates
so
like the real thing does for the scoring and timing and scoring. So, yeah.
Well, it has for open wheel racing, but not so much on this one. So I want to figure that one out at the moment as we go. We will have Brandon popping in the pit road there, and actually now Chris Sawyer is going to be popping in the pit road.
Yeah, a couple of drivers, actually, as you aforementioned. Chris Sawyer giving up a top 15 spot onto the pit lane. Lucas Lyons, and I believe we had a problem with the driver of Jake Ellingson. He was one on the pit lane before the caution come out. I believe Jamie Barkis was the one that put us under the caution flag as we now see the 27 of Ellingson now coming back down pit road to the attention of their crew. 10 laps in. Caution laps do count, by the way, as there's work being done here. McQuarrie, Pendleton, Gardner, Drabick, and Smith are your top 5 again here, and the driver out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, with problems early in that.
Oh, that's a drive-through.
Ellingson. Yeah.
That's got to be. He dropped in his box there for a split. Oh, no, my apologies. Just missed it completely. Where are you, my friend? You're way out of the pit lane box. Anyway, Jake's back out there. Jake was the one courtesy that sent us the replay file as well, too. So, in fact, if you actually see him go on the pit road, we might actually see the lollipop people and stuff like that. Oh, that you don't see in a broadcast, but I'm not quite sure about that one. But what we are sure of at the moment...
You talking about the pit crew members?
Yes, sir. We don't see him on the broadcast on IRA Racing, but the drivers do see him. That gives you a little bit of indication if you are watching at the moment. And say hello if you are watching.
Yes. Thank you for everybody tuning in. And obviously, we'll see how things go for this Bristol race because we're supposed to call it live, and we're calling it live now on a voice track. But we do not know the outcome of this race. We purposely said, no, we don't want to see what happens. We don't want to look at any time and scoring, any cheat sheets, any notes, any messages. We want to just come in here and call the race naturally. And right now we're seeing, of course, McQuarrie in the lead over Pendleton. Gardner was up in front earlier. And we're getting ready to try to settle things here and get ready for a 2x2 restart on the first caution of the race here for the Goat Locker Racing Series and the Crusin Classics Next Gen Cup Series. Say that 3 times fast there. You're going to get tongue-tied there, Big.
Crusin Classics Next Gen Series. I can do that. Yeah, she sells by the seashore, my friend. Well, I'm going to be doing, as you said, that pace car. What about Jeremy dropping back in that 69 caution car? As you saw Ryan and Mark get past, but hey, it doesn't really matter where you currently are at the moment, does it? It matters where you finish.
I still believe that's the crash dummies on the hood of that car.
It
It is the crash dummies, yeah. I want to cue up the humming song. Remember that movie from Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah, you see, this is what happens when you get some old school in the casting booth, isn't it, my friend? You and I are going to we can go way back.
Just unveiling how old we are, right? Let's go back for the restart of the Geico restart zone. McCrary on the loud pedal in the clear point, entry number 83. Scampers from the field over Pendleton. It's going to be Gardner. They're going to battle side by side. Smith will follow, and they carry it down into 3.
That's a good launch from these drivers. He's got right on board right now of Eddie Smith. The 87 machine, he's got many caution if he's going to run on the back of Jeremy. Going up to the high wall. You can see it's very, very bouncy in this track. We see that a couple of times this week on the NASRA network. And currently Mark up the road there. Ryan and of course Jeremy chasing him down. Patrick, don't forget the man 4 positions up there for the Jan Prittington Promotions machine. Well, he doesn't need any name next to Patrick DeBeck. He is on fire, my friend. 4 positions gained. Looking for another one.
Man, what a show they're putting on right now here at the racetrack in the early going. Obviously watching all this going on in the exciting race over here at Bristol Motor Speedway. By the way, just 0.533 miles is the racetrack at Bristol. 24 degrees to 30 degrees of banking here on the concrete. That is the last great Coliseum. And McCrary in the lead. Here goes Pendleton and Gardner. They're still battling side by side. Smith and Drapick also having a nice battle in the top 5. We're closing in on 20 in.
Yeah, exactly. Hoping to get a lot of green flag racing. 116 to go. So 2 battles forming at the moment. We still have a big midfield, huge midfield battle at the moment here as well. But I don't want to, because we don't have replays, I don't want to miss the action. So I do apologize if there's going to be a lot of action, which I would imagine there would be at the midfield at the moment. We saw that actually. Well, I saw that earlier this week in another race here on the NASRA network. But here it is, top of the timesheets and top of the field is where your action is going to be.
Man, there's a great pass now by Pendleton starting to get around the machines of Smith and Gardner. Gardner falling back down to the 3rd spot, and there's the man now in 2nd for the 23, going after the leader, McQuarrie's car. And as I was also watching that, I was looking at Daniel Cunningham in the 7th position. If you want to grab him real quickly, he is starting to climb up into the top 5, going after Drapick and Taylor. That's another battle heated up on the racetrack.
He's about to sit on the inside as well too. So there we go for the Oregon Ducks. Is that job done? It is, my friend. But look at this. Ryan and Jeremy. P1 and P2 as you see a slow car getting out of the way. Traffic will definitely come into play here because it's such a short track. Here we go. Battle for P2 as Mark is look at his rear vision mirrors going, whoop, there's a battle behind me. He doesn't need to worry about it. He needs to worry about traffic up the road.
By the way, thank you for joining us. Trevor McManus, thanks, man. You're very welcome, obviously. We wanted to be live. Our intention was to go live. I think iRacing's been going haywire since, obviously, they launched rain and everything else and all this great action going on. I guess Trevor doesn't like the 69 car. He thinks it's ugly. But obviously, if you're a fan of the crash dummies, as me and Biggles were talking about growing up with them, you know exactly who that was. And obviously, caution to the wind as he was under attack for the top 3. And all the while, here's another great battle heating up inside the top 5. Eddie Smith, Patrick Drapick, and Gardner going at it on lap 26.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love this short track. Of course, it can bring a ton of cautions out, but at the same time, it can bring some fantastic racing. And we haven't got him into pit stop territory yet, only for some of those drivers from Brandon all the way down to P16, my friend. So, yeah, plenty of time to go. And you chew through that rubber, gentlemen. It is non-refundable, but therefore, if you chew through it too much, that wall's going to come out and bite you. And I'll tell you what, you've got to bite some flowers first, and the caution machine of Jeremy's going to think about trying to take it to the Ryan as Mark still has a commanding lead.
All this going on with another lap on the board here, closing in on 30 laps the distance. Again, a couple of drivers out of the race here in the early going as we are about to approach 100 laps to go here at Bristol Motor Speedway here tonight. Obviously, round number 7. This is the Goat Locker Racing Cruising Classics Next Gen Cup Series. Tomorrow night, it'll be the trucks right here, or I'm sorry, it's the ARCA drivers on the racetrack, of course, for Thursday's league. And Brian, going on with 30 laps in here, what a phenomenal job McQuarrie had. He battled there in the early going with Gardner, got around Gardner, had that one caution here in the opening 30 laps, Dean, but not looking back yet. He's out in front, and he's got about a three-quarter second lead over Pendleton off the corner.
I think he went to Chipotle and got a quick meal in before he got that racing done, didn't he there, my friend? We'll talk about that one, because obviously having to up to a live broadcast and, well, you snuck out for a meal. Why not? Absolutely. We had a little bit of time there to get the replay file, get it all sorted out. The drivers have a bit of a breather, and thank you, drivers. Join in. Drivers, you should join in, because you get to watch yourself live, actually, after a race that you just had. So you've had a chance to stretch your legs there, get something to eat, and sit there and go, well, let's have a look how I look on the big screen.
Like watching game film, right? Preparing for football or basketball, right? Yeah.
Oh, this is getting spicy and dicey, my friend. In the midfield, this is 7th, 8th, and 9th, and 10th, give or take, around here.
The 9, the 24, the 48, and the 80, all going at it down the racetrack, obviously, as we aforementioned. Look at this great racing here.
Getting some tank slappers into the fence as well too, my friend, which means that they're starting to get a little loosey-goosey there, starting to flirt a little bit of danger.
Watching now the 69 going up high. Gardner, his Chevrolet under attack now by Eddie Smith. The Ford is after him, on board with the 87. Down to the inside, trying to reel in Gardner. Nothing there. And by the way, we're already 100 laps to go in this race at Bristol.
I believe because the replay file that I got there from Jenkins says lap car out of the way immediately. I believe because oh wow, this is getting tricky at the moment. You want to go to high line 3 abreast, so try to get past the lap car of 2. Wow, this is going to get spicy and dicey. This is another thing about this track. You've got to navigate your way through the field, and also remember, don't try to crash into the other cars, and also don't float the fence too much. But
I feel like
going
it's
back to that
Dover.
one.
Do you remember the truck race on Friday, man?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, that was the one we were talking about earlier, wasn't it? But and in this case, I believe that it was done pretty short, actually. Ooh, so I think the race was done and dusted at least under 2 hours, which is good. So I don't expect
now, you said you didn't know anything about it. Now, quit unveiling things that I don't know.
No, only the time that Jake sent me the replay file after. That's all I know. And it wasn't like 3 hours after the race had finished, so I think that goes indication that there's not going to be a ton of caution, which means there's going to be some fantastic racing. We've already seen.
You know what? I just hope that the powers that be with the Goat Locker Racing League will appreciate the fact and the desire and the passion and the availability, I think, is the appropriate word I'm looking for in my debut calling the Goat Locker Racing League, to have technical problems, not of our doing, Biggles, Dean Hopton, but to have the desire to come back an hour later and call this race and voice track it and try to make everybody be happy.
You got it, Wes. You got it, Wes. Look at this at the moment. Eddie Smith on right in the lead of this race, but they've got traffic up the road, and that traffic is battling because, of course, they're battling for position as well, too. They don't need to yield, but where do you go currently at the moment if you're Eddie?
It's kind of like Dover from last week in the trucks for the NASRA Truck Series, the Cobb Series, obviously the Premier Friday League. And here at Bristol tonight for Goat Locker, we're seeing the exact same thing as right now. Ryan Pendleton will power back to the lead. He's going to carry Eddie Smith with him. Gardner now falling back to third. So is McQuarrie. Drivers that led in the early going. And while that's going on, we're getting by lap traffic. This is the 19th place car. Cameron Mason trying to go a lap down as they come to the line for lap 50 coming up very soon.
This is fantastic racing. You're completely right on that one. Nothing's going to hold us down here on the NASRA network. And of course, Wesley and I, my friend, we've been around the bush a few times, my friend. We are well capable of getting productions getting broadcasts done, and getting anything that needs to be done. And nothing's going to hold us down, my friend. Nothing. That sounds like a song, isn't it? Here we are, 3 abreast, my friend. 3 here at Bristol, and we're still on the green.
Got to keep on moving, right? Everybody take my stride or hold me down as they work their way off the corner again here. Pendleton, Smith, Gardner, McQuarrie, Taylor. Sounds like a law firm in your top 5 here in the early 50 laps at Bristol. That's the way they are. They've all led it sometime, shape, or form, but we're not done yet. There's more lap traffic, and Pendleton in the lead. Gardner under lap traffic into the corner in 2.
I'm just getting super excited at the moment. I don't know how these are gentlemen driving at the moment. They're like, oh, God, thank you very much. Well, I'll use the overtake. No, thank you. I'll buy you some tea. No, gentlemen, this just racing, and it's racing at its finest. Ryan is still trying to hold on Eddie Smith, but I want to keep my eyes peeled on this because you know what happens when you get 3 abreast, my friend. Maybe you might need that caution 69 machine to stay out of trouble.
Want to remind you that you can follow Goat Locker Racing on social media. That is Goat Locker Racing. You can find them on Discord if you want to know more details on the web. GoatLockerRacing.org. Again, veteran-owned nonprofit organization for veterans by veterans. And thank you, men and women, that have for your service to allow us to have the freedoms like we have. Like checking out this awesome racing. Is look at the 91. Oh my! Hold on, Kyle Westby under attack to stay 3 wide with lap traffic.
There's gonna be a caution. There it is.
Oh, they wreck. 53.87 in the fence. That's Eddie Smith. That's Brendan Barrier, a lap machine, lap cars, lead lap cars, calamity at Bristol for the second caution.
I kind of knew it was going to brew up to like that. That was just getting a little bit too much. I was like, you're pushing your luck so much. I mean, we do know that, of course, you have like St. Patrick's Day coming up, isn't it? The luck of the Irish. But I
luck of the
don't know,
Irish,
my
yes.
friend. We were lucky to get away with 53 laps with only 1 caution earlier, but that's going to cause a call who's going to go down a pit road. Obviously, Taylor is because... I think I need a front fender, my friend. Let's see how it pans out for the rest of the crew.
Looks like a lot of drivers in the front of the top 10 are coming to the pit lane.
Yeah.
Jason Taylor, Trevor McManus, Brandon Evans, Patrick Drabick, Cunningham. All these guys coming in to get 4 tires and fuel service. Drabick, Indianapolis, chatting with him. Formosa. Eddie Smith from Brandon, Mississippi. Loudington, Michigan driver there. Winchester, Virginia. I'm looking forward to calling some racing in Winchester Speedway this year for the regular full-time schedule of endeavors of my real announcer life. And right now, these guys roaring onto the pit lane, off the pit lane.
Race leaders
no
in.
reset again here.
Ryan has to come in as well, too. You got to take advantage of the situation, don't you? Brandon Evans, of course, was fun to follow him there. You got Chris Sawyer.
Yeah.
And Alan. Everybody going in the pit road gets 4 fresh tires, a bit of splash and dash. And I don't know what if you want to splash and dash anything. We need to splash and dash. So maybe one of our fantastic sponsors here. Don't you agree?
Yeah, we're going to take a break. Don't go anywhere. More of the Goat Locker Racing Cruising Classics Next Gen Series Round 7. Round 7 from Bristol coming up next. We'll be right back.
Starbase 1552 Comics. We sell everything a collector would want. Comics, Funkos, action figures, and so many more. A real American comic book shop. We are online only. Starbase 1552 Comics. Find us on eBay Auctions.
Back here at Bristol Motor Speedway, working the second caution of the race here for round 7 of the Goat Locker Racing League Cruising Classics Next Gen Cup Series from Bristol. I am, of course, Wesley Outland, 55 of 134 laps. And Biggles, Dean Hopton, man, it was getting really good there. 3 wide, lead lap traffic, slow cars, or get out of the way, if you will. But they're racing to stay on the lead lap. And I want to emphasize on that as we'll get ready for a restart. These guys are not a lap down. They're fighting to stay on the lead lap. You know, they're going to race as hard as they can with the leaders. Obviously, we saw that outcome end up with a crash.
You're right, Wesley. And remember, these drivers that are battling at the back of the field, they don't have to just yield immediately. That's just the kind of thing you do if you're by yourself. But if you're battling it over another truck or car, it's your battle. You know, you know that at the fact you've got 78 laps at least to go at the moment there, you can actually come back there if your strategy and so forth. And you said about that move. I mean, I'm gonna obviously let's say move. Get out the way. But then, you know, once again, those drivers don't need to do that there, Wes. So let's see how it goes. It's always a nice thing to do as the drum rolls. Rolling in the beat here. And I'll tell you what, Barney's going to be rolling or waving that flag because we're going to go green, green, green.
Peter, the pace truck driver, back onto the pit lane. Barney, the iRacing flag, waves that virtual green flag. And we are back to it again here. Approaching halfway, by the way, here in about the next 10 laps as well. Flying by rather quickly for this event. here at Bristol right now. Back on the jump again. It's the man out in front, Jason Taylor. He leads the way over now.
got lap car
getting
traffic
around
caught.
McManus, and we got lap traffic
That's
again
a
in the way
caution.
of the leaders in 3.
We got a caution. We have a caution on the raceway. I do apologize once again. It will not show that on that ticker.
36. Car 36 with a problem. I want to say it's George Jewell if you want to find it.
Yeah, let's see if I can find George real quickly here. There he is. So he got a little incident. We can't show that replay, unfortunately, once again from the replay. Because we can't replay a replay of a replay, my friend. Isn't it? You turn into a Pandora's box or something like that,
can you
isn't
just
it?
like go in reverse? Can you go in reverse and on his
It's like
car
traveling
number, find
faster than the
what
speed
track
of light and then, trying to reverse time. We can't do it. It's not possible. I tell you what, Daniel is unfortunately not reversing his way into pit road, but he will have to head into pit road.
Well, here comes this driver back onto the pit lane again. Obviously, you see he got a fast repair. You
Jake's
notice that
going in
these guys got a
again.
fast repair for the series. And here comes Ellingson back on pit road again.
Yeah, I don't know why it's showing me he's only been in pit road once, but I know that Jake's been in here a few times. Jake sent us this fantastic replay as well, too. And when I did chat to Jake, I said, please do not tell me anything about the race, okay, when you send me that replay file.
Right.
And he said, it was interesting. It was very interesting. Okay, so that's all I have, which is fine. That's all I want to know, Jake. Let's see how you go.
You got a little cheat sheet if your information, but we don't want to know anything else, right? Because we want to put on a good show.
You could say somebody
for
was
the
an
broadcast.
interesting race. That's it, right? Well, how would you know? It's been interesting, has it not? Halfway
It
through.
has. It's been really fun. I've enjoyed it, obviously. Good racing so far here for the Cruising Classics Next Gen Cup Series, and good racing, obviously, here in the early going at Bristol. You got to love Bristol. Bristol is just, it's a love-hate relationship, man. Am I right? Because normally you might have a wreck fest show here at Bristol, or sometimes you see really good racing like we just saw a moment ago.
You can have it. You can have it. We can have like a lot of cautions, but you can also have some fantastic wheel-to-wheel racing. 3 wide wheel-to-wheel racing, my friend. Even 4 sometimes if you're bold and brave on that one. However, you will get fantastic racing entertainment. And, as a man from Formula 1 open wheel racing, I'd be... watch a race in Monte Carlo and Monaco, Formula 1. You're going to have 3, 4, 5 overtakes at best for an hour and a half race.
Yeah.
You and my friend, we might as well go down to Chipotle and get and have a meal there and have as much excitement. Well, probably have more excitement eating the meal than we'd have with the actual motor race. So, yeah, this is a fantastic track.
Coverage of the Goat Locker Racing Next Gen Cup Series is presented by Cruising Classics Performance Center, your one-stop destination for your classic vehicle and muscle car service and performance upgrades. Special details are also available, located at 4038 Fisher Road in Columbus, Ohio. Contact them today if you need one, 614-957-5413, or follow them online at cruisingperformance.com. They're the official entitlement sponsor of the Goat Locker Racing League Next Gen Cup Series.
I got one for you,
You're tonight
Wesley.
in Bristol.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say 8675309, but I didn't know.
Yeah, that's a good song, right? Yeah.
Oh, see, when you started reading those numbers out, I thought you were going to do that. And Trevor, just let us know, there's going to be another hot fix tomorrow. So if you do have a little slow internet connection, for some reason my internet connection is good, but if you have a little slow download to iRacing, get in there early and get it downloaded, right? You don't want to be like turning up 1 hour to a race and then realizing it's going to take 30 minutes to download. It just happens. Here we go.
That makes very good sense.
Day late, dollar short. I don't think Jason is, and we get that restart over and done with again.
Let's try it again for the restart here. Bristol back at it again as we're closing in on the halfway mark at lap 67. We're on lap 64. Patrick Drabick now battles Ryan Pendleton. Well, that goes on. Trevor McManus scampers to the lead in the 23 as they come to the line. Look at all this great racing going on here again.
In this time as well, Jason got a good launch, but he's on a massive pressure from Jeremy on the outside there. So caution on the Speedway. No,
they're racing, brother. They're going at it. Coming to the line. Gardner in front. Look at this. Inside. Eddie Smith, Jason Taylor. Good battle side by side as we're going to the cross flags this time by here at Bristol off turn 4.
Remember, these drivers are all on similar tires. Similar starter do.
So we're halfway now through this race here at Bristol. Jeremy Gardner will lead the halfway mark, 67 laps to go now. Eddie Smith, Mark McQuarrie, Ryan Pendleton, Jason Taylor, your top 5. Trevor McManus, Scott Formosa, Steve Tucker, Chris Sawyer, and Brandon Evans. Right now, the top 10, it stands with about 5 Chevrolets, 4 Fords, and 1 Toyota, manufacturer-wise, as they go on to lap 70 into turn 3 there, Biggles.
Looking further back at the moment there, Trevor and Scotty. Now, you got to think about Scotty's now 19 positions, 20 positions gained now for the Scott Star, give or take, as he's battling it out there with Trevor. And remember, they're on the same pit stop strategy. They all box on lap 53 that I'm seeing currently in the moment for my telemetry, that sometimes may be a little bit wrong on them. But it looks to be correct, and you have to give Scotty, my friend. Scotty, you know that song, right? Scotty?
Yeah.
Scotty has it. You could,
Beat me up, Scotty, right?
No, the other one. Scotty. Anyway, let's go to Eddie Smith and Jeremy, the battle for the lead. Scotty has it done, or something like that. I can't remember what it was. Somebody help me in the chat there as well. Here we go. Caution on the Speedway? No. Eddie versus Jeremy.
No, what are you doing? No, we don't need a caution yet. Here comes caution on the trying to battle for the lead, though. Jeremy Gardner looking inside of the VSRN machine forward of Eddie Smith. Griff gets the clear on the outside lane. He's starting to pull the way, but not for long. Gardner going to battle back on the bottom as we go back to the Red Beard track map, showing you the action as we approach lap 75 here at Bristol.
And further back in the Speedway, I'm going to have to show you a little bit, of the short track, a little bit of a drama that's brewing up a little bit behind. And the reason why I have to do that, because I need to get the camera at the right place at the right time. Drivers choreograph it, remember? We rehearsed this. Get your overtakes done at the right place at the right time. Okay, so I can put the camera at the right place at the right time. Here we go. Let's see the action. This is not scripted, by the way. This is not rehearsed. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we're really enjoying this battle now as we see now the 44 and the 9 machine going at it again here on the racetrack. That's Jason Taylor and Chris Sawyer and Steve Tucker. All this battling going on here as we get it ready to put a closing in on lap number 80. This has been a very fast race here so far at Bristol. Couple of caution flags, not a big wreck fest, and obviously exciting racing, and I spoke too soon.
No,
here comes the yellow flag.
Is it? No, I think we're good.
No, we're under caution. We're under caution.
Oh.
Looks
You
like
did
the
speak too
87 and some other cars just got tangled up over there. Here's your wreck right here as they're starting to clear back up. The 87 and the 88 and the 82, I think, got collected in the wreck. And yeah, that's why we're under the yellow flag here for, I think, the 4th time or 3rd time, actually. Alan Marshall.
Yeah, Alan Marshall. I'm seeing he's gone to the pit road there. Is he all dinged up? Let's have a look. Alan.
I spoke too soon, Biggles. You know this. We're clean and green. Everything's good. And then we got a caution.
Well, it happens on a short track like that, but you can imagine how many. I think of the glass as half full, not half empty.
Yes,
the amount of fantastic green flag wheel-to-wheel racing we've had, and they've caught traffic almost every single time, haven't they? And you know how difficult it is to navigate traffic around here because there's really only 2 paths. And of course, that you got to think it as well too. If you're a slower driver, not really a slower driver, but you're a driver getting overtaken by the racing leaders, and you're like, where do I go? Up, down, a high line, a low line, and I'm also trying to battle the car next to me. It's difficult. I think that's even more difficult sometimes. Oh, their car's crabbing big time,
he's
my friend
crab
Brandon.
walking. Yeah, what's the word? Cattywampus and crab walking, man. He's out of it.
And I can't blame him for not even hitting his pit box right now because he could barely even turn the car in there. But good on you, Brandon. You did a lot better job than I would.
He could be the next Sebastian for the racing version of Little Mermaid. Hey, by the way, the Goat Locker Racing Series.
I was thinking about the crab in Moana.
Yeah,
it was
but
played by the New Zealand
yes, sir.
actor. Yeah.
The Goat Locker Racing Series is a veteran-owned nonprofit organization for veterans by for veterans by veterans. And, of course, they have the Goat Locker Racing Leagues on many, many nights of the week. Find what niche will work for you and join them today. Of course, find more details at goatlockerracing.org. Again, that's goatlockerracing.org. You can find them on Facebook as well as on Discord. And, of course, the NASRA 360 Racing Network, the premier broadcast partner of the NASRA, of course, Cop Series. On Friday night, the NASRA Sim Racer Hub Xfinity Series and the NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series, in addition to being a broadcast partner for Goat Locker Racing. More details at nazareth-racing.com. Bristol Motor Speedway is where we are. We're on lap number 80. We're closing in on the final 60 laps of this one, Biggles. What's your take of the race so far as we'll get one to go with the line?
Well, I was going to think it's shiny, and it's definitely shiny at the moment. Eddie Smith now, but look out for Chris, the 21 machine. Give or take, they're up a ton of places. We haven't really seen too much of Chris, but you always say he's silent, but he's certainly, well, violent, let's say, in track performance. There you go. I don't want to be putting him down.
Silent but violent, silent but deadly, something
silent
like
but
that.
yeah, exactly. You got the drift there, my dear friend. Wesley, of course, the man that's commentated probably more years than half these drivers are in ages. So there we go, Wes.
Oh, dude, I'm only 40, okay? Come on. But I started at 13. I've been doing it for about 30 years now. Let's go back to the restart zone. Green flag in the air. Let's go back to racing here, shall we? As we go back to green, we're going to go to the double box from the pylon to now the big scoring ticker up on the top right now. Eddie Smith up in front, McManus and Sawyer, and there you see them all hustling and tussling. Brandon Evans also getting in this mix. He's going after the 44 Taylor, and boy, they know it's go time here with under 60 to go now.
That's why they say go, 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 green, 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 and they certainly are. Eddie Smith leading this one. There he is, currently down the backstretch there. Trevor and Chris. So they're not letting this race leader get a good launch off the green. Try to hunt him down like a pack of wolves and a pack of racing drivers. But Chris is the man I would keep an eye on. I honestly would keep an eye. This man's 19 positions gained, my friend. That's almost a last to first challenge because it's 26 on the grid. I'll take that one any day of the week. But further back, look at this. Jake and Jason. And remember, Jake's had a little bit of a trouble. Jake's been in the pit road a few times and he's still hanging in there.
I'm digging it, man. I'm loving it. Watching him working around the racetrack here for another lap here. Closing in on 100 laps, and here you see Taylor again under attack. Look at now the 23 up to the high side of the safer barrier. Ryan Pendleton, couple of Fords going at it, and meanwhile, look at this gaggle of traffic, and that's not lap traffic, that's lead lap machines trying to fight for the finding spots for the position of the end of the race.
Yes, exactly. You can see currently at the moment on your track map, so there is definitely no traffic to deal with, only the cars around you. It is not the Los Angeles freeway or even Los Angeles roads, which I absolutely dislike. But anyway, we won't talk about that, my friend. What we will talk about some fantastic racing. And speaking of Jake, he's got Brian for company. And look at this in the high line. Oh, we could get 3 there. Who was the car that dropped down on the inside? Not quite sure at the moment. That could have actually starting to be lap traffic now because they're catching it so quickly.
Yeah, what fun times we're seeing right now. Watching all this great racing coming down to the end of it here. Obviously, by the way, next week we're going from Bristol to Michigan. That's going to be fun too, obviously, Dean, because Bristol's a totally different racetrack than a 2-mile, intermediate racetrack like we'll see at Michigan next week. Going to be a lot of precision banking, I believe, for sure in that race.
I want Indy. I just want Indy, of course. But it's each track presents its own opportunities. And also, let's say, Achilles' heels for certain drivers. And some drivers have told me before in the past, are like, I absolutely dislike this track. And then later on, once they get to learn the track, they go, once I start to get a little bit of an idea how the track works, I start to like it. So we'll see. But that's more road courses. But then again, this track obviously has its bumps, doesn't it? It has its challenges. And of course, tire wear, we don't know out there. Drivers know that. You got to be in tune, don't you, with the motor vehicle?
You're going to have to be a little patient, obviously, Dean, because Bristol Motor Speedway tonight is round 7 of 10 before the playoffs, and round of 12 doesn't begin until about over a month from now. April 10th is when we'll be in Indianapolis, and I know you look forward to that.
I do, because I like the overall tracks there that stretch your strategy out a little bit more, and you don't get a lot of traffic as much. But it's not as fun as what we've had this evening. Look at this, because you've got bunched up packs, my friend. As a producer, it's a little bit more of a nightmare if you have to click on everything at 1,000,000 miles an hour. But I do love it, and I'm sure everybody out there is enjoying it. The drivers, of course, have to love it because you've got opportunities of overtaking left and right and center. This is honestly, this is so much more fun, really, at the end of the day, than most oval racing, open wheel, road courses, because you see things like this: 2 cars in the lead, and they got lap traffic up the road, and they have to navigate this one. Actually, that's Ryan, and that's Trevor, and that's your race leader, Eddie. So thinking about that. And then Jeremy sees an opportunity and go, well, you're a little bit slow, gentlemen, so let's see what I can do.
And let's see what happens when they come to the line with 35 laps remaining. This time by, we put lap 100 on the board when they come back to the start-finish line. As Dean Biggles didn't mention, Dean Hopton mentioned, next week we're going to be at Michigan. Then we go to Pocono. Then it's to Kansas for the final race before the playoffs. And again, if you're one of these guys in the final 4 regular season events, you want to win a race. You want to get a W to put yourself into the playoffs right now. I think only 4 or 5 drivers have done that as we're closing in on 30 some odd laps to go with a contact at the start-finish line. Here you go.
Yeah, high line being run and the inside line. We could see 3 abreast, and now more importantly, you're going to see that lap traffic come into play, which is going to be difficult for these drivers all racing each other. What is that machine up the road going to do there? Now, Wesley, where do you go as a race driver?
Well, it's go time. Now, obviously, maybe people that you might have been friends with or people that you might have been patient with earlier, it's out the window now. We're seeing the strength of the caution car, by the way, and I don't mean the pace car. I'm talking about Jeremy Gardner. Take caution, everyone else on the Goat Locker League. His car has got fast. It is coming to the front. He is after Ryan Pendleton. Pendleton too high as they work off the corner. We're 30 laps to go at Bristol.
This is getting super exciting because you've got a bunch of other drivers behind him as well, too. You got a lot of charging drivers. You got Trevor, you got Patrick, you got Mark. Remember, Mark was charging through his field. It's 2 for now there for the 83 machine. And look at this pack that's gaggling up behind them. This could be turning into somebody's fortune and somebody's misfortune. Almost tagged. There it is in the fence. And there's an incident.
No! Oh, they saved it.
Oh, they saved it.
Oh, my
Are you
goodness,
kidding
they
me?
saved it. Yeah!
Wow. He's gone off to the inside line there. That's Trevor. And he's going to come back on the racing line, but that's not a lap down. That's not a damaged vehicle as well, too. So I'd take that one either way. Hey, save of the day. Somebody highlight that one definitely in the reel because I'm sure he'd be very proud of that one. Might be not happy with the other driver having a tangle, but still, hey, car's pulling in the right direction. It's green flag, 27 to go.
Ryan Pendleton still the leader, by the way. The highest climber of the race so far of the close to 26 drivers is Scott Formosa. He just cracked the top 10, up 16 spots as we move into the finish of this race. Driver falling back more than anyone is Trevor McManus on the racetrack and still free falling. Negative 12, 25 to go here at Bristol. Pendleton, Gardner, McQuarrie, Drabick, and Smith the top 5, and they're not done battling side by side. Barber just passed Smith to get 5th and 3.
Somebody call Tom Petty. Somebody call him right now and say who's free falling. I know you're going with that one. I'm going to have to go back to the free falling at the moment between these 3 drivers, my friend. You can't put it up at the inside there. Who was trying that one? Luckily backed off there for the 35 machine.
Boy, that was Lucas Lyons, Brandon Evans, and Jake Ellingson going at it, man. Remember the problems Ellison had earlier in the race. He's cracked back into the top 10, and obviously Scott Formosa is in the battle. And we got trouble. Caution is out. I think these are the drivers we just mentioned that crashed.
He may have very much. It could have been delayed, but everyone's going to go to the box. That box. And every people always ask me all the time there, from your neck of the woods, what's box mean? Because it's pit. And speaking of which, I think
and
we
this
have
is
to
the money stop, by the way, Biggles. This is the money stop right here with 22 to go. Heck yeah, it's the money stop.
All right. You got it, my friend. You've been doing this longer than I have.
This is very important to see what happens. They're all coming down to the pit lane. Less than over 20 laps to go, actually. And boy, this is going to be a fun one. We're going to thank our sponsors and partners that make this happen. The Goat Locker Racing League, by the way, on Nazareth 360 Racing Network. Don't forget tomorrow night, the ARCA Series will be in action. Coverage begins around 8:30 or 8:30 Eastern Time. Make your plans to join them. Check out the archives, and we'll be back to take you to the finish. And this one, boy, Bristol has not disappointed for round 7. Stay with us. The finish is next.
Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's magical creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
We're back, my friend. We're back for more action. And why not? Even though the action is, well, not live to the drivers, my friend. But I tell you what, Wesley, it's live to us. And it's damn exciting. Crickets from Wesley.
I am still trying to recover from your last comment that we had off the air. Is that okay? All right. So we're back now, and we're closing in on 20 to go. Whew. The man out of Columbus, Ohio, representing the Buckeye
Repeat that
State.
on air, please.
I cannot. I will not. I promise your secret is safe with me. So we'll try to do this now with 19 laps to go. And man, what a race we got here. Obviously, here comes that 69 machine that we were talking about, Biggles. Keep an eye on that man, Jeremy Gardner. He was up in the front early, and then I kind of watched him kind of fall back. And I think that's a strategy now. He knows it's go time. I think we're going to see a lot of aggressiveness here. Patience is out the window as we get ready to go back to green flag here. Here's a look at your drivers in yellow that have won races, and we're back to it again at Bristol with under 20 to go, my friend.
Yeah, there we have it. I wanted to pull it up a little bit quicker, but daylight dollar short. These drivers aren't going to be daylight dollar short. Ryan leading from Jeremy and Mark and Patrick. Brandon D. Evans, of course, there, and Robert, all mixing it up for the final shoot down here at this fantastic Bristol Motor Speedway, because this is what, my friend, this is it.
Tax.
Oh, big smash in the background. Is that
It all started
Jake
with
in the
Robert
fence?
Barber. Robert Barber with problems.
Robert.
Ellingson with bad trouble. He's up into the safer barrier. Somehow, even with the damage on Barber's car, we still stay
We go
green.
green.
No caution. 15 to go next time by.
Yeah, this is the big man club racing right now, of course. This is next gen racing, so hey, it ain't over yet. And until Barney waves that flag. 39, I wouldn't stick your nose at. Brandon's tried this a few times, isn't he, earlier? He's gambled down the middle. He's gambling now. He's gambling here.
Three wide,
Wesley.
Evans in the middle. There's contact running out of room. Is Drabick.
Oh, there
Drabick
it
in the
is.
query, and they stand, and there's contact.
I knew it was
Going
gonna
around
happen.
goes Barber, and they're still wrecking as Evans is still getting tore up on the top of the racetrack with 14 to go.
There was no way that was going to work. He thought about it earlier. We are on a caution flag. I do apologize once again for the graphics. Didn't get to show it. But wow.
I mean, we were dead on it. We saw it in real time right there. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, just hit rewind on your live feed and you can see it, because awesome work, even though it's a replay voiceover.
Oh, you know what? I'll rewind it.
Oh,
Maybe
he's going to
that'll work.
rewind it. He's going to rewind it. He's going to rewind
Hey,
it.
wait.
It's worth rewinding.
I only rewind if you can actually commentate this backwards. How's that sound? All right, we'll
That's
have a
as
look
far
at
as
this.
I'm going, right? Look at this.
Let's
Three
have a look.
wide, man. Look
So,
at you here.
This is Brandon,
Monkey
remember.
in the
Explain
middle.
this one.
Hot dog between the bun. Look at him. Hot knife sliding through hot butter, melting, and you just want to say, I got it. I think I can. Oh, no, I don't. And then they just
Squeezed.
close in on you like you're squeezing your meat and your sandwich bread together, and then you see
It was
calamity when they go into
was
the
it
corner,
Patrick?
right?
Yeah, Patrick squeezed him and then turned him.
Yeah.
There. And then he turned into the 83 of
Oh,
Mark.
boy.
And then after that, it was like which little piggy wanted to go to the market. They were all going down the pit road. Perhaps well.
Shameless
and
plug
he
for
gets a double slap.
yeah. Shameless plug for the Flow Racing car. That's the 57 machine, obviously, of Robert Barber.
I've
And
hit something by accident.
I'll be on
See,
the
this is why no
I'll be
one's
on the
doing replays.
broadcast call for Flow Racing this weekend at Caraway Speedway, weather permitting, by the way.
Hang on one
So,
second.
Yeah.
I just
And
hit the
yeah,
worst
we're gonna
button I could have ever
go
hit.
back to we're gonna go back to a commercial break. Everybody, stay with us, and we're gonna take you to the finish of this race. As it looks like we might be heading to overtime. The Goat Locker Racing Series is not disappointing. 3 words. It's Bristol, baby.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. a new day. It's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new day, it's a new
Back here at Bristol Motor Speedway after that, the big crash of the night so far. Ready to bring you to the finish of this one. And of course, lap number 124 of 134. Close it in on about a 10 to 12 lap shootout to decide this one here. Overtime does hang in the balance, but man, I'm telling you, Dean, this has been an awesome race, dude. It's Bristol, baby. Like I said in commercial, it's Bristol, baby. It's been an exciting race, and now it's going to be exciting down to the end of it.
You called it, my dear friend Wesley. You've been around the ballpark a few times. You've slammed a couple of home runs actually in your time. And who is going to be getting their way to the final situation really here at the Goat Locker Racing Cruising Classics Next Gen Series? It's all
We're ready to
about
see.
winning, and we don't forget who's P2, P3, and P4. But I know who wants it.
Yeah, Ryan Pendleton wants to win this thing, and obviously he's on the outside lane where the green flag flies back in the air as they take the green flag one more time. By the way, under 10 laps to go here now. Here at Bristol, we'll bring that ticker back up, and you'll see any more high climbers coming through the field. But right now, Pendleton is up in front. Gardner is second. We got trouble on the back straight, on the front stretch. Robert Barber with a problem. Some other drivers crashing. We're going under caution again, Dean.
Oh, there it is, says Trevor. You said
No,
Robert.
Trevor McManus, Jake Ellingson. Obviously, we saw the 57 of Robert Barber getting a little loose there for a minute, and
They just passed
the
it.
91 is tore up again. The Sundrop car, Kyle Westby, and already multi-laps down. And here you go. We got another yellow flag.
Well, cautions breed cautions, as you mentioned. It'll give me a chance to sort that overlay problem not sorting itself out. So bear with us for a second again, my dear friend. We'll get that sorted out.
Under the caution flag again here.
Robert's
As,
gonna go on pit
again,
road,
right
right?
now they're
So-
working lap number 128 of 134. Here comes the Flow Racing Barber machine onto the pit lane. Thanks to all of our partners that make it happen for the Goat Locker Racing Series, Cruising Classic Car Performance, Next Gen Cup Series tomorrow night. ARCA will be in action. And there you see drivers that were really competitive, Dean, earlier in the race, now coming down to the pit lane, and they're having service being done here.
Well, you know, you only need to service your car, don't you? I mean, have you not taken your car? I hope you've taken your car to a service depot at some point of late. But during a motor race, you may need to do it a little bit early, especially if you have some damage to your motor vehicle.
Seeing some work being done here, obviously, on the Ellison car. That's a tough break for him, man, because he got a pit penalty, got stuck with problems, got involved in an accident. Fulton clawed his way to get back into the top 10 again, and now with the short end of the stick here at the late rally. Obviously, we see McManus on pit road. His car is still getting service being done. Kyle Westby, the 91 Sundrop machine. Chris Sawyer, the number 21 Ford, gave up a top 10 run. He's on the pit lane. And, yeah, somehow we got to get to the finish of this thing here, Dean.
We do. And Redbeard will get us there. And I guarantee you the Goat Locker Racing League will get us in. The Cruising Classic one, you want to cruise your way to the end of a race to see Barney? Classically cruise your way for the Nazareth 360 network. Right here and right now for the roofing.
Yeah, we mentioned all of those partners again, and one more time we will acknowledge some of the people like Cruising Classics Performance Center, obviously your one-stop destination for your classic vehicle and muscle car service and performance upgrades and special work that you'd like to have done. Located on 4038 Fisher Road in the Buckeye State of Columbus, Ohio. Contact them today on the line at cruisingperformance.com or call them up at 867-5. No, I'm just messing. 614-5957-5413.
Stop it, Jenny. Stop it.
I got you, Big. I got you, Dean. 614-957-5413. Who was young when that song come out like me and you were? And did you ever try to call that number?
No, I lived in Australia, my friend. That would have required my parents to make an international phone call, which would have meant
you would have had to call
never
like
have
20
the money.
digits, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
But did you try it? I think they're probably going to go green in a minute, and I do apologize. I can't get the lovely, fantastic graphic overlays. I'll work on that one, but we do have the live, well, the semi-live pictures, as we're all aware of. And we all know at the moment, Wesley did try to call that number to see if Jenny was going to answer. Did Jenny answer?
No, she did not.
Yeah,
No, I was told that it was a prank call. How many people have ever tried to call this number? It's probably been banned off of the list. So let's go to overtime, shall we? Or at least stay in the race distance here, because it looks like we're going to go to an attempt of overtime at Bristol. Green, white checker. Let's settle it here at Bristol. Ryan Pendleton, we don't need no ticking graphic. This is a voiceover replay of what happened earlier. Pendleton in the lead. Here comes Caution Gardner now making a move to the inside. We're looking at the white flag when they come back to the stripe here. Look at this battling door to door as they go into the corner.
As Ryan's going to get it done. 3 positions gained at the moment. 23 machine. Can he hold off Jeremy? Jeremy inside there.
Oh, he dove to the inside and he couldn't get him in time. There's the white flag. Here it goes. One more lap to go. Pendleton, one more shot after him. He's lost ground on him in the backstretch. Gardner losing ground as they go into turn 3.
They're slowed down.
What a drive.
Yep, got it, right.
And they take the checkered flag. This race is over. There it is. I think we had a crash while they were coming to the checkered flag. Or we didn't show that Barney's showing the white flag, but it's all said and done. It is over. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Pendleton is going to pick up the win here tonight at Bristol. Driver of car number 23 in that Ford, holding off the likes of Caution Gardner and Drabick, even with his problems going 3 wide, got caught up in a little tangle. He rallies back. He'll finish on the podium. Mark McCrary, who led earlier, got a podium along with Cunningham. What a show these guys put on here, Biggles.
And he will, and unfortunately, there's a whole everything's shenabbled at the moment. My dingo ate the cable.
What a way to represent Cruising Classics, by the way, on the 23 car of Pendleton for the series entitlement sponsor. Burning it down, yes. Look at this. Hey, by the way, obviously this is a voiceover from the live race earlier tonight. We will not be able to have our regular post-race interviews with the NRE Power Systems post-race wrap-up and everything, but we will give you real quickly the rundown of tonight's race. Ryan Pendleton picks up the win. I want to see, can we look at the graphic real quickly of the winners of the year?
I cannot pull you any graphic up at the moment.
Okay, I got you. I'll save the day. I'm going to look here and see where they are right now with drivers that have the most wins of the year or previous winners leading up to tonight.
The previous standings? I can't show you that.
Yes, the previous winners. There it is. So there you see it right there, man, with this victory. It is a win for the driver of Mr. Pendleton. He was a driver that was not even in the top 12 or top 14 of the point standings. And look at this now, Biggles Dean Hopton. He's punched his ticket into the playoffs.
Oh, well. tick tock. Exactly, my friend. You got to be in it to win it, and as long as you're in it to win it, that's fantastic. As you can see,
Fifth different winner now, besides drivers in the cutoff line to make the playoffs of the 12 by points. He's going to now take Mark McQuarrie's spot, jump him down to 6th or more, and Ryan Pendleton picking up the win here now to join drivers of Brandon Evans with 3, Steve Tucker, Drabick, and Barkus with wins also. And obviously, you think about guys like Tucker and Drabick and Barkus and even Evans, they're not worried about what happened tonight at Bristol because they already have the comfort of knowing that they're going to be going to the playoffs at your track. You love Indianapolis on April the 10th at the world's greatest race course, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Ryan Pendleton again is the winner. Jeremy Gardner is in second. That's the caution machine. Rallying, doing well. He'll finish in the 2nd spot. Patrick Drabick again on the podium in 3rd. Mark McQuarrie 4th. Daniel Cunningham in the top 5, followed by Robert Barber, Lucas Lyons, obviously Jason Taylor, George Jewell, and Chris Sawyer, the top 10. Scott Formosa will finish obviously in the number 11 spot, followed by Bobby Germain, Cameron Mason, Brandon Evans, and Steve Tucker, the last car on the lead lap of the 15 drivers of the starters. Rest of the field, including laps down or more, goes to Trevor McManus, Jake Ellingson, Kyle Westby, Alan Marshall, Doug Ellingson, Eddie Smith, Brandon Barrier, Joe Hobbs, John Anthony, and of course, Jamie Barkus, a winner this year, did not take the green flag after attempting to qualify or practice in the sim, along with Tyler Justice. And that is your NRE Power Steering Systems post-race wrap-up. Obviously, no interviews because this is a voice-over from the race earlier. But Bigglesteen Hopton, I guess we'll close, man. We'll get ready for Michigan next week. Yeah. Bristol was exciting. What a fun 135 laps here tonight.
Oh, you have it there. Thank you very much as well, too, for Wesley for stepping in tonight, of course, as you the first time you've broadcasted or commentated this league. Do apologize once again. iRacing, we all are aware that the rain updates and all the updates has been causing a little bit of dilemma, not just probably for myself, but for many other drivers. And we did the absolute best that we possibly could. I think it was fantastic for, 99% of the broadcast. Just towards the end, I'm not quite sure why everything went a little bit tricky, but take it away from the fact that Ryan, Jeremy, Patrick got the top 3. They did the little job at the right place at the right time. Even if the graphics weren't showing on the top, you called it, my dear friend. You called it very, very well, as Wesley always calls it well. And exactly as you said, schedule, which will show you, of course, that will be coming up soon. Of course, is you're going to go on to Michigan, and you're going to go on to the rest of those tracks. All I'm looking at Indianapolis. That's
next 3 races.
Yes.
Next 3 races. Very unique racetracks in their in their configurations. They're totally different. I think it's going to be a really big shakeup to determine how they'll line them up for the playoffs. No doubt.
You called it, my friend. So you want to wrap it up there? Veterans for Life,
I can.
Jam Printing, and promotions.
Michigan coming up. Big thanks to all of the sponsors, and big thanks mostly to the Cruising Classics Performance Center located in Ohio. More details at cruisingperformance.com. And this has been a presentation of the Goat Locker Racing League. It is a veteran-owned nonprofit organization for veterans by veterans. Goat Locker Racing is a 501c3 nonprofit program. Thanks to Jam Printing and Promotions, Veterans for Life Foundation, so many more. And of course, thank you for checking us out on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. Tomorrow night, I believe Bigglesteen Hopton and Jacob Reeves will have call of the ARCA program. I'll be back with you, God willing, another time for the Cup Series. And a big thanks also, as always, to Brady LaBeouf, Cody Knott, and everybody behind the NASRA 360 Racing Network. For Bigglesteen Hopton, I'm Wesley Outlet. Congratulations again to the driver joining now the men that will make it to the playoffs with 3 races to go. On to Michigan. Ryan Pendleton, winner tonight at Bristol, baby. We'll see you next week in Michigan. Good night.